The Stillness Within the Storm, written and published by Book Boost. Imagine you are standing in the middle of a violent storm. The wind howls, the rain pounds down, and the world around you is chaos. Yet, in the center of all this, you remain untouched. You are calm, composed, and unshaken. How do you maintain such peace when everything else seems to be falling apart? What if, instead of reacting with fear, frustration, or anger, you could master your mind to stay calm, even in the worst of circumstances? In your daily life, you encounter chaos. The pressure of work, the noise of people, the unpredictability of events. You wake up to a flood of thoughts, anxieties, and frustrations. You may not even realize it, but your mind is constantly pulled in different directions, creating unnecessary stress. But what if there was a way to regain control? What if there was a method to quiet the storm within, no matter what is happening around you? This is where the philosophy of Stoicism enters the picture. It teaches us that true strength lies not in controlling the world around us, but in mastering the way we respond to it. Think of it like this. Imagine facing a challenge, a difficult day, a tough conversation, or an unexpected setback. Instead of letting these external forces dictate your emotions and reactions, you choose how you respond. You remain calm, focused, and centered, like a rock in the middle of a raging sea. At Book Boost, we believe that the key to surviving the storm lies in understanding and practicing this inner peace. In the next few moments, we will explore how you can bring Stoicism into your daily life, and why the true power of this ancient philosophy is not just surviving chaos, but thriving in it. If you're ready to unlock a deeper sense of control, inner peace, and fortitude, then this journey is for you. So, take a moment to reflect. How would your life change if you could remain calm no matter the chaos? Drop down your one thought on believe in yourself in the comments. We want to hear from you and encourage you to subscribe to our channel so we can continue this transformative journey together. Stay with us. It's time to discover the power of Stoicism, mastering the art of inner resistance. There are moments in life when the world seems to conspire against us. When nothing goes as planned, when everything feels like an uphill battle. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the constant pull of negative emotions, anger, fear, frustration. These emotions rise within us, often without warning, and threaten to take control. We find ourselves swept up in their current, helpless to resist. But here's the truth. We can choose how to respond. We have the power to decide whether we will let our emotions dictate our actions, or whether we will take control and rise above them. The Stoics knew this truth better than anyone. They understood that while we cannot control the world around us, we can always control how we respond to it. And this is where the art of inner resistance begins. Every day, we face countless situations that challenge our patience, our composure, and our strength of mind. From the small irritations, like being stuck in traffic or waiting in long lines, to the larger struggles of life, like losing a job or dealing with personal loss. Life has a way of testing us. And in these moments, we often find ourselves reacting without thinking. We snap, we get angry, we become anxious. But the Stoics believe that true wisdom and strength come not from reacting, but from pausing, reflecting, and choosing how we want to respond. Take a moment and think about the last time you were angry. What was the trigger? Was it a person's words, a situation that didn't go your way, or an event that was entirely beyond your control? In that moment, you had a choice: to let the anger take over, or to step back and remain calm. The Stoics believe that by practicing mindfulness and reflection, we could begin to see these emotional triggers for what they are: temporary reactions, not facts. They are fleeting storms in the mind, passing quickly if we don't give them our energy. It's in these moments that we must call upon the practice of inner resistance. Resistance, not to the emotions themselves, but to the urge to act on them. Emotions like anger and frustration are natural, but they do not have to control us. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Imagine for a moment that you're in the midst of an argument. The other person's words sting, and your heart races. Your mind is filled with 1,000 thoughts. I need to defend myself. I need to prove I'm right. I need to win this fight. But then, you take a breath. You pause. And in that moment of silence, you remember that your true power lies in how you respond, not in winning the argument. You can choose to remain calm, to listen, and to respond with understanding instead of retaliation. This is the essence of Stoic resistance. It is the ability to stand firm in your beliefs and your values, even when everything around you seems to be pulling you in the opposite direction. It is the ability to face adversity without becoming consumed by it. The Stoics believe that by cultivating this resistance, we can achieve a kind of inner peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. The idea of resistance is not about fighting the world or denying our emotions. It's about choosing not to be controlled by them. When we feel anger rising, we can choose to pause before reacting. When we feel fear, we can choose to act despite it. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And how true that is. We spend so much time anticipating the worst, fearing what might happen, that we forget to live in the present moment. We resist not the emotions themselves, but the tendency to let them dominate our lives. Think about how often you let your emotions drive your actions. Maybe you lash out in anger, say things you regret, or withdraw in fear. The Stoics teach us that our power lies not in avoiding emotions, but in mastering them. By practicing inner resistance, we can stop being at the mercy of our emotions and start choosing how we respond to them. This is a skill that takes time and practice to develop. It doesn't happen overnight, but it can be learned. The more we practice inner resistance, the more it becomes a part of who we are. It starts with small moments. The next time you feel frustration rising, take a breath. The next time fear creeps in, stand tall and move forward despite it. The more we make these choices, the stronger we become in our ability to remain calm and composed, even in the face of chaos. The path to mastering inner resistance is not easy. It requires self-discipline, patience, and the willingness to face discomfort. But with each step, we become stronger. We learn that we are not our emotions. We are not the thoughts that come and go in our minds. We are the ones who choose how to respond to those thoughts and emotions. And in doing so, we become the masters of our own fate. In the end, the Stoic practice of inner resistance is about reclaiming our power. It is about refusing to let external circumstances dictate our inner peace. It is about standing firm in the face of adversity, knowing that no matter what happens in the world around us, we have the ability to choose how we respond. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the core of Stoic philosophy. Strength is not found in controlling the world, but in controlling ourselves. It is found in the ability to remain calm, composed, and clear-headed, no matter what the world throws at us. And so, we return to the question, how can we face life's challenges without being consumed by them? The answer lies in mastering the art of inner resistance. It's about taking control of our responses, not our circumstances. It's about practicing mindfulness, choosing our reactions, and building resilience. It's about learning to live in peace, even in the midst of chaos. By embracing this philosophy, we can start to experience the freedom that comes with inner calm. The world may be chaotic, but we don't have to be. Fireproofing the mind against destructive emotions. In the heart of every storm, there is a calm, a stillness, an unshakable center. But for most of us, this calm is a distant dream, a whisper drowned out by the noise of life. The storms are relentless, and they come in many forms: anger, fear, anxiety, sadness. Each emotion, like a fierce wind, threatens to tear us apart. And yet, within the chaos, there is a choice: to be controlled by these emotions or to rise above them. The Stoic believes that, though we cannot always control the world around us, we have the power to control how we respond. Our emotions do not have to rule us. Destructive emotions are like fire. They can flare up in an instant, engulfing us in their heat and intensity. When we feel angry, hurt, or afraid, it's as if the fire of these emotions consumes our thoughts, our actions, and our peace. But as the Stoics teach, fire is not our enemy. It can be controlled, tempered, and directed. Just as a blacksmith uses fire to shape steel, we can use the fire of our emotions to shape ourselves. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, understood this truth deeply. He once wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." How true these words ring in our lives today. How often do we allow our minds to build a fire out of the smallest spark, turning an inconvenience into a disaster, a minor setback into a life-altering catastrophe? It is our imagination, unchecked and uncontrolled, that makes these emotions burn out of proportion. The real challenge, then, is not to eliminate these emotions, but to stop letting them rule our lives. The Stoic approach to destructive emotions begins with understanding that they are natural. Anger, fear, sadness, they are not weaknesses, but part of the human experience. What makes these emotions destructive is not their presence, but how we choose to act on them. When we let our emotions control us, they dictate our actions, often leading us down paths we later regret. But if we can pause, take a step back, and observe our emotions without becoming them, we gain the power to decide our response. This is where the practice of mindfulness comes in. Stoics were not just thinkers, they were practitioners. They did not merely reflect on the nature of emotions. They took active steps to overcome them. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoics and a Roman emperor, kept a journal where he would remind himself daily of his duty to remain calm and in control. He would write, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." What he meant was simple. The thoughts that fuel our emotions shape our lives. If we change the way we think, we change the way we feel and the way we act. Imagine, for a moment, you are caught in a situation that would normally trigger your anger or frustration. Someone cuts in front of you in line, or a colleague takes credit for your work. In the past, this might have sparked a firestorm of irritation or resentment. But now, armed with the Stoic mindset, you pause. You observe your emotions, acknowledging them without judgment. You realize that your anger is not the problem. The way you respond to it is. The moment you step back, take a breath, and choose not to react, you have already won. You have fireproofed your mind. This is the practice of detachment, an essential tool in the Stoics' emotional arsenal. Detachment does not mean becoming cold or indifferent to the world. It means separating yourself from the whirlwind of emotions that threaten to pull you under. It means realizing that you are not your emotions. You are not your anger, your fear, or your sadness. These are temporary, passing states. You are the one who decides what to do with them. And the more you practice this detachment, the easier it becomes to remain calm in the face of any emotional storm. But what happens when emotions like fear or sadness are overwhelming, when they feel too powerful to ignore? Here, the Stoics offer another powerful tool, rationality. The Stoic mind is grounded in logic, in reason, and in truth. Emotions are often born from our perception of reality, not from reality itself. For example, when we feel fear, it is often because we imagine something terrible happening in the future, something that has not yet come to pass. But what if we challenge these imagined scenarios? What if we ask ourselves, is this fear based on facts, or is it based on my own anxieties and uncertainties? By grounding ourselves in rational thought, we can defuse the emotional charges that come with fear, anger, and sadness. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, would often remind himself that most of the things we fear or worry about never come to pass. And when they do, they are rarely as catastrophic as we imagined. In these moments, the Stoic sees emotions for what they truly are, temporary clouds passing through the sky of the mind. Another powerful Stoic practice is the understanding of impermanence. The ancient philosopher Epictetus taught that we should always bear in mind that the one thing that is truly ours is our ability to choose how we respond. Every emotion, every thought, is fleeting. No storm, no matter how fierce, lasts forever. The same is true for our emotions. The more we recognize that our feelings are not permanent, the less power they hold over us. We are not victims of our emotions. We are their masters. When we begin to adopt this mindset, we start to see life differently. We no longer allow our emotions to dictate our actions, but rather, we choose how we will respond. It is not about suppressing our feelings or denying our humanity. It is about learning to act with wisdom and self-control. The Stoics did not seek to eliminate emotions, but to transform them. They knew that the true power lies not in avoiding life's storms, but in learning how to navigate them with strength, clarity, and grace. To fireproof your mind, you must practice this daily. When you wake up, remind yourself that you will face challenges, frustrations, and emotions throughout the day. Prepare your mind by focusing on what you can control, your response. Reflect on your thoughts and actions, and ask yourself if they align with your values. Each moment is an opportunity to choose how you will react, and in choosing wisely, you strengthen your inner peace. Just like a blacksmith tempers steel with fire, you temper your soul with the trials of life. The fire may burn, but it does not break you. Remember, the storm will come, but you, equipped with the Stoic tools of reason, detachment, and mindfulness, will remain unshaken. The fire of destructive emotions can still burn, but it will not consume you. You will be the calm in the chaos, the steady hand that guides your mind through the storm, unscathed and stronger for it. This, then, is the essence of fireproofing the mind. It is not the absence of emotion, but the mastery of it. It is the quiet strength to remain steady, no matter what life throws at you. The storm may rage, but you will stand firm, an unyielding force of calm and reason. The Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort. The true power of a Stoic lies not in avoiding discomfort, but in embracing it. In a world where we are constantly chasing comfort and ease, Stoicism offers a radically different perspective. It teaches us that by deliberately exposing ourselves to discomfort, we can grow stronger, more resilient, and more in control of our lives. The Stoics didn't view hardship as something to avoid. They saw it as an opportunity to prove their strength. Imagine for a moment, waking up in the morning with a choice. You can either stay in your warm bed, or you can rise and face the cold, the uncomfortable, and the challenging tasks of the day ahead. The natural instinct is to stay cozy, to avoid discomfort, to choose ease. But what if, instead of seeking comfort, you intentionally chose discomfort? What if, instead of avoiding the difficult, you embraced it? This idea is at the core of Stoic philosophy. The great Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This is a reminder that much of the discomfort we experience is a product of our mind. We anticipate pain, stress, and hardship, but often, the reality is not as bad as we imagine. By voluntarily embracing discomfort, we break this cycle of fear and anxiety. Voluntary discomfort isn't just about physical challenges. It applies to mental and emotional ones as well. It is about challenging yourself to step outside your comfort zone and face the things that frighten or unsettle you. Whether it's taking on a difficult project at work, speaking in front of an audience, or having a hard conversation with a loved one. These are all opportunities to practice Stoic resilience. But this isn't about pushing yourself to the point of harm. The Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort is about recognizing that discomfort, in its many forms, is a natural part of life. It's about understanding that we cannot grow if we are always surrounded by comfort. Growth only happens when we face challenges head-on, when we push through adversity, and when we learn to control our reactions to life's inevitable difficulties. By seeking discomfort, we begin to build resilience. We learn to adapt to hardship, and in the process, we grow stronger. Just as muscles grow stronger through resistance, so too does our character grow stronger through the voluntary discomfort we choose. Each time we face discomfort, we prove to ourselves that we are capable of handling whatever life throws at us. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, understood this well. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the Stoic mindset. Every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. Every moment of discomfort is a chance to practice self-control, to prove to ourselves that we are stronger than the challenges we face. Stoicism teaches us that pain and discomfort are not things to fear, but things to embrace. When we stop avoiding discomfort, we begin to realize that it is not discomfort itself that causes suffering, but our resistance to it. The more we resist discomfort, the more power we give it over us. But when we choose to face discomfort willingly, we take away its power. We begin to control it, instead of letting it control us. One of the most powerful exercises in Stoicism is the practice of negative visualization. This is a simple but profound technique where we deliberately imagine the worst-case scenario. We imagine losing something we love, facing a difficult challenge, or encountering a hardship. The goal is not to dwell on the negative, but to prepare ourselves mentally for adversity. By doing so, we become less fearful of life's uncertainties. We learn that we can handle whatever comes our way because we've already mentally rehearsed it. But voluntary discomfort isn't just about imagining worst-case scenarios. It's about actively seeking out challenges that push us to grow. This might mean taking a cold shower every morning, fasting for a day, or engaging in physical exercise that pushes your limits. It might mean sitting with discomfort during a difficult conversation, or choosing to face a task that you've been avoiding. The practice of voluntary discomfort teaches us to rely not on external circumstances for our happiness, but on our own inner strength. We learn that our happiness is not determined by comfort, wealth, or success, but by our ability to remain steadfast, calm, and focused in the face of discomfort. The Stoic does not seek comfort because they know that comfort leads to complacency. Instead, they seek challenges because challenges lead to growth. In the grand scheme of life, we are often at the mercy of circumstances beyond our control. We cannot always choose the events that happen to us or the challenges we face, but we can choose how we respond. And one of the most powerful responses is to embrace discomfort. When we do, we regain control of our lives. We no longer live in fear of hardship because we understand that hardship is not our enemy, it is our teacher. Stoicism is about realizing that discomfort is not something to avoid, but something to use. It is an opportunity to strengthen our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. It is a way to prove to ourselves that we are capable of more than we think. The more we choose discomfort, the more we discover about our own strength, and the more we realize that we are in control of our own destiny. So, next time you find yourself avoiding discomfort, remember that it is through discomfort that we grow. It is through facing the challenges of life head-on that we become stronger, more resilient, and more in control of our own fate. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, the ability to turn adversity into opportunity and discomfort into strength. Choose discomfort today and watch as your life transforms. You are stronger than you think, and through the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort, you can unlock a deeper, more resilient version of yourself. Endurance over emotion, the discipline of fortitude. In this life, we face challenges every single day. Whether it's an argument with someone close, a difficult decision at work, or the constant pull of our own insecurities, these challenges often stir emotions within us. These emotions can be overwhelming. They can cause us to act impulsively, to make choices that we later regret, or to let small disturbances spiral out of control. But what if there was a way to stand firm in the face of these emotions, to let them come and go without allowing them to take control? What if we could meet every challenge, not with panic or fear, but with calm and strength? The Stoics believed in a simple but powerful idea, that it is not the events themselves that disturb us, but how we choose to respond to them. Life is full of situations we cannot control, but we always have control over how we react. It is within this space of choice that we find our power. This is where endurance comes in. Endurance is not about avoiding hardship, but about standing strong through it. It's about not allowing life's storms to sweep us away, but instead standing firm, rooted in the ground like a tree that sways but does not break. The Stoics taught that true strength comes from within, from our ability to endure and remain steady no matter what happens. The idea of endurance isn't just about physical strength, it's about mental and emotional fortitude. It's the ability to face whatever comes our way with a calm heart and a clear mind. This type of strength doesn't come naturally to most of us. We are taught to respond to challenges with emotion, to react to pain with fear or anger. But true endurance means facing those same challenges and remaining unaffected by the emotional pull. It is easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of life, to let the emotions of the moment dictate our actions. But Stoicism teaches us that we have the power to rise above this. We are not helpless in the face of emotions. We are capable of recognizing when they arise and choosing to respond with wisdom rather than impulsiveness. Imagine, for a moment, a day filled with small frustrations. Someone cuts in front of you in line. Your phone freezes at the worst moment. A colleague undermines your efforts. The natural reaction might be to feel irritated, anxious, or even angry. But the Stoic way is different. Instead of reacting, the Stoic pauses. They acknowledge the emotion, but they do not let it control them. They understand that it is not the event that matters, but their response to it. This discipline of endurance requires practice, but it is one of the most powerful tools you can develop. When you face a setback, instead of falling into despair, you remind yourself that this is just part of life. Challenges come and go, but your ability to endure them with grace is what defines you. In every moment of frustration, there is an opportunity for growth. In every moment of hardship, there is a chance to become stronger. The key is not to avoid emotions altogether, but to allow them to pass through you without leaving a mark. One of the most famous Stoic philosophers, Epictetus, once said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This idea is at the heart of Stoic endurance. The world will continue to throw challenges at us, and emotions will continue to rise. But the Stoic learns not to be swept away by them. Instead, they remain anchored, grounded in their own thoughts and their own choices. This is the discipline of fortitude, of being strong in the face of adversity. Endurance is also about understanding that suffering, in and of itself, is not something to be feared. We live in a world where we are often taught to avoid pain at all costs, to run from discomfort and frustration. But the Stoic knows that pain is inevitable. What matters is how we deal with it. When we learn to endure, we stop seeing discomfort as something to avoid and start seeing it as a teacher. Every challenge, every painful moment, has the potential to teach us something valuable about ourselves. Through endurance, we learn that our strength does not lie in avoiding suffering, but in facing it head-on and emerging stronger for it. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." This is the essence of endurance. Just as a muscle becomes stronger with use, so too does the mind grow stronger through the challenges we face. Each difficulty we endure builds our resilience, our ability to handle even greater challenges in the future. The more we practice endurance, the more capable we become of facing whatever life throws at us. But endurance is not something that happens overnight. It takes time, patience, and deliberate effort. It requires us to cultivate the ability to detach from our emotions and to practice calmness in the face of stress. It's not about suppressing feelings or pretending that everything is okay. It's about recognizing that feelings are temporary and that we have the power to choose our responses. When we master this, we unlock a level of strength that goes beyond what we thought was possible. One of the most powerful tools for developing endurance is the practice of mindfulness. By becoming aware of our emotions as they arise, we can prevent them from controlling us. Instead of reacting in the moment, we pause, observe, and choose how we want to respond. This practice allows us to remain steady, no matter what is happening around us. It is in this space of awareness that endurance is born. It is important to remember that endurance is not about becoming numb to the world or detached from life's struggles. Rather, it is about learning to move through those struggles with grace and wisdom. It is about maintaining our integrity, our calm, and our clarity, no matter what is happening externally. The Stoics' goal is not to escape life's difficulties, but to rise above them, to face them with strength, and to remain unshaken in the process. As we continue to face life's challenges, remember this: you have the power to endure. You have the power to stand firm in the face of emotional turmoil and external chaos. You have the power to remain calm when the world around you seems to be falling apart. This is the discipline of fortitude, and it is a skill that anyone can cultivate. The more you practice, the stronger you become. So, when life presents you with a challenge, don't shy away from it. Embrace it. Face it with the quiet strength of a Stoic, knowing that every trial is an opportunity to grow. And with every moment you endure, you are building a foundation of inner strength that will carry you through whatever comes next. The power of perspective, reframing chaos as opportunity. You see, the world will never give you perfect peace. It was never meant to. The chaos, the noise, the loss, the unexpected turns, these are not mistakes in the design of life. They are part of it. And yet, you and I, like everyone else, often wish it were otherwise. We want comfort. We want ease. We want the world to align with our plans. But here is the truth, and it is not easy to accept. Peace will not come from fixing the world. It comes from fixing the way we see the world. A man once wakes up and finds that his home has burned to the ground. The first thought that strikes him is despair. But the second thought, the one he chooses to believe, is this: at least I am still alive. I can rebuild. I have lost property, but I have not lost my ability to begin again. This shift in perspective does not erase the loss, but it gives the man power over it. The fire still came, but he decides how the story moves forward. That is the Stoic way. We do not run from pain. We do not deny that life is hard, but we ask ourselves one thing: can I see this differently? We learn to reframe. And in that small act, we take back control. You and I will face storms. People will leave. Money may run dry. Health may falter. Dreams may break. But if we believe that every difficult event holds a lesson, if we choose to look deeper, then no moment is wasted. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled the Roman Empire, wrote in his private journal, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He did not just say this. He lived it. Surrounded by war, betrayal, plague, he chose not to see these things as curses. He saw them as tools. They sharpened his mind, tested his strength, and humbled his soul. We are not in control of much. We cannot decide who loves us, what tomorrow brings, or how the world will treat us. But we can control our response. And our response begins in the mind. It begins with how we interpret what happens to us. That is our real power. We can look at a setback and see a chance to grow. We can see failure and find instruction. We can meet betrayal and choose to deepen our self-respect. Epictetus, born a slave and later one of the great Stoic teachers, taught that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. His entire life was proof of this idea. He had nothing, yet became wise. He suffered greatly, yet became free. Free in the only way that matters: in his thinking, in his attitude, in the clarity of his choices. So when the world feels like it's against you, when everything feels unfair, pause. Just pause and ask yourself, is there another way to look at this? Because often there is. You were rejected? Perhaps it saved you from a path not meant for you. You failed in public? Perhaps it taught you a truth you needed to hear. You were criticized? Maybe it was a mirror showing you what still needs work. Or maybe, just maybe, it was a reminder to keep walking your path, no matter who approves. We must learn to welcome life as it is, not as we wish it to be. That doesn't mean we stop growing or pushing forward. It means we stop fighting against reality and start cooperating with it. It means we stop asking why me and start saying try me. And in that shift, something powerful happens. The mind grows quiet. The heart grows strong. Because now we are no longer victims of life. We are partners with it, co-creators of meaning, even in pain. Especially in pain. Seneca once wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." So when the trials come, and they will, remember this: your struggle is shaping you. Your discomfort is a sign that something inside you is being stretched. Growth is never soft. Transformation is never easy. But through the right perspective, it can all become sacred. We are not born with the wisdom to see every problem as a gift. It takes effort. It takes silence. It takes falling down again and again, and then standing up, not just with clenched fists, but with open eyes. So look again. Look again at your situation. Look again at your pain. Is it just misfortune, or is it material for building strength? Is it a tragedy, or is it the beginning of a deeper understanding? The Stoics never told us to pretend that pain doesn't hurt. They only told us that pain is not the end of the story. They reminded us that suffering can make us bitter, or better. We choose which. When you are lost in chaos, do not search for a world that is calm. Search for the calm inside you. Let your perspective lead the way. That is your compass. That is your strength. That is your freedom. Letting go of control to gain peace. We all want control. It's natural, isn't it? We want control over our surroundings, our relationships, our futures. It feels safe when we know what will happen next, when we can dictate the flow of things, when everything follows the script we've written in our minds. But what if I told you that the more you try to control everything, the more you actually lose control? What if the key to peace lies not in holding tighter, but in letting go? Imagine, for a moment, the grip you have on your life. You try to control your environment, your career, your image. You plan every detail of your day. You monitor your relationships, trying to make sure they unfold just the way you want. You worry over your future, trying to predict every possible outcome and shape it to your desires. But in doing so, you become trapped by your own need for control. Your peace slips away as you try to force life into a mold that may never fit. The Stoics understood this truth. They taught that control is an illusion. Yes, you can influence things, make choices, and take action, but you cannot control everything. External events, other people's actions, the world's events, the outcomes of your efforts, are beyond your command. Trying to control them only brings frustration and stress. It's like trying to control the wind. You can't do it, no matter how hard you try. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you can experience true peace. When you let go of the need for control, you stop fighting against the natural flow of life. You stop wasting energy on things that are beyond your reach and start focusing on what you can truly change: your thoughts, your responses, your actions. This shift, although subtle, can transform everything. It's not about giving up or being passive. It's about accepting that there are forces in life you cannot master and choosing instead to master your own mind, your own reactions. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, understood this well. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." It's a simple yet profound reminder that the only true control we have is over ourselves. When you accept that, you realize that peace isn't found in controlling everything around you. It's found in controlling how you respond to what happens to you. Let's think about this. Imagine a day filled with setbacks. Your plans fall apart, your colleagues misunderstand you, and the world around you seems chaotic. You can't change what has already happened, but you can choose how you react. Will you let frustration take over? Will you dwell on things you can't change? Or will you rise above, accept the situation for what it is, and focus on what you can do next? The choice is yours, and the key to lasting peace lies in making the right one. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, famously said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Much of the stress we feel comes from our attempts to control things we can't. We imagine outcomes, worry about what others think, and try to plan for every possible contingency. But in reality, most of the things we fear never come to pass. And even if they do, they often turn out to be less catastrophic than we imagined. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Think of the serenity that comes with this realization. It's the kind of peace that isn't dependent on external conditions. It's the kind of peace that's always within reach, because it comes from within. The Stoics believe that our emotions, fear, anger, sadness, arise from our attachments to things we can't control. When we let go of those attachments, we eliminate the fuel for these destructive emotions. And in doing so, we create a calm, steady foundation within ourselves that no external storm can shake. But letting go of control is not easy. It requires deep trust, not only in life itself, but in our own ability to handle whatever comes our way. It requires faith that, even when things don't go as planned, we will still be okay. Life is unpredictable, and there will always be forces outside our control. But when we let go of the need to control them, we find that we can still move forward, still thrive, and still find peace. This is the Stoic way, the acceptance of life's uncertainties, paired with the unshakable belief that we can handle anything that comes our way. You might be asking, but what if I let go and everything falls apart? Here's the truth. It's only by letting go of control that we can truly begin to rebuild. When we hold on too tightly, we suffocate what we're trying to protect. When we let go, we allow ourselves the space to grow, to adapt, and to flow with the natural rhythm of life. Life is not meant to be forced. It's meant to be lived, experienced, and embraced, chaos and all. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, put it simply, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it comes. This is the essence of letting go. It doesn't mean resigning yourself to passivity or apathy. It means doing your best with what you can control, your actions, your mindset, your choices, and letting the rest unfold as it will. In doing so, you align yourself with the natural order of things and find peace amidst the turmoil. So, ask yourself, what are you holding on to right now? What parts of your life are you trying to control with all your might? Is it your relationships, your job, your future? What would happen if you let go of that tight grip and accepted things as they are? Would you feel lighter, freer, more at peace? The truth is, The moment you release your need to control everything is the moment you regain control over the one thing that truly matters, yourself. The Stoic practice of letting go of control doesn't mean you stop striving, working, or making plans. It simply means you release the need for certainty, for perfect outcomes, and for the constant struggle to control every detail. It's about being in harmony with life, accepting its challenges, and trusting that you have the strength to meet them, no matter what comes. In the end, the peace you seek doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from accepting that you are not the master of everything. You are the master of yourself, and in that mastery, you find a calm that no storm can take away. Living by nature's law, aligning reason and will. In the world of chaos, one might ask, how does one live a peaceful and purposeful life? What is the path that leads to true freedom? Stoicism offers a profound answer to these questions. The way to peace lies in living according to nature, in aligning our reason and will with the natural order of the world. But what does this truly mean? First, understand this. Nature, in Stoic terms, is not simply the trees, the wind, or the mountains. It is the order of the universe itself, the way everything functions in harmony. The Stoics believe that there is a universal reason, or logos, that governs everything. And that reason is not chaotic or random. It's purposeful. It's calm. It's intelligent. The Stoics taught that humans, like all things in the universe, are a part of this natural order. To live a good life, then, we must align our actions, our thoughts, and our emotions with the laws of nature. So, how do we align ourselves with this natural order? How do we live according to nature? It begins with understanding one crucial thing. We do not control everything that happens around us. We cannot control the weather, the actions of others, or even the thoughts that pop into our heads. But what we do control is our response. This is where reason and will come into play. Our reason allows us to see things as they truly are, without the distortion of emotions. It allows us to understand that not everything in life is in our hands, but everything is a chance to practice virtue. Virtue, in Stoic terms, is the ability to live in harmony with reason, to live according to wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These are not just abstract ideas. They are practical tools we can use every day. Every time we face a challenge, we are given the opportunity to exercise virtue. Every time we feel anger rise within us, we are presented with the choice to act with wisdom instead of reacting with emotion. Every time we experience hardship, we can choose to meet it with courage, knowing that adversity is a part of life and not something to fear. The Stoics taught us that to live according to nature is to live in harmony with the world around us, accepting it as it is. We are not separate from nature. We are a part of it. The trees do not struggle to grow. The rivers do not fight their course. They simply follow the natural flow of things. In the same way, we must stop fighting against the world around us. We must accept that suffering, loss, and challenges are a part of life. They are inevitable, and they are natural, but they do not define us. What defines us is how we choose to respond to them. When we align our will with nature, we stop fighting what is beyond our control. We stop resisting the storms that life inevitably throws our way. Instead, we face them with grace and wisdom. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This is the essence of Stoicism, not changing the world, but changing ourselves in the face of it. There's a profound peace that comes with this understanding. When we accept the world as it is, without trying to force it into our own vision, we stop wasting energy on things that are out of our hands. We stop chasing after fleeting desires, hoping for things that may never come. We begin to focus on what truly matters: our character, our actions, and our choices. Our will becomes aligned with what is good, and this alignment brings peace. Living by nature also means understanding the interconnectedness of all things. It's a recognition that our actions affect others, and that we are all part of a greater whole. The Stoics encouraged us to think beyond ourselves, to recognize that our well-being is connected to the well-being of others. In this way, living by nature means living with compassion and justice, treating others with respect and fairness. We cannot live in harmony with nature if we are acting in ways that harm others or the world around us. One of the most important aspects of aligning reason and will with nature is the practice of self-discipline. It's not enough to simply understand the philosophy, we must also put it into practice. Self-discipline is the ability to govern our desires, emotions, and impulses. It is the ability to say no to what is harmful and yes to what is beneficial. In a world that constantly tempts us to seek pleasure, avoid discomfort, and act impulsively, self-discipline is a rare and powerful skill. It is the ability to live with purpose, even in the face of distractions. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." So much of our pain comes from the stories we tell ourselves, from the way we anticipate things going wrong, or from the way we cling to our desires. By aligning our reason with the natural world, we can stop these mental stories from controlling us. We can learn to stay present, to focus on what we can control, and to accept what we cannot. In doing so, we find peace. Aligning reason and will with nature also brings about a deep sense of gratitude. When we see that everything around us is part of a greater design, we begin to appreciate what we have, rather than focusing on what we lack. Gratitude becomes a natural response to the world around us. Even in times of struggle, we can be grateful for the opportunity to grow and learn. We can be thankful for the lessons that adversity brings, knowing that it is through hardship that we become stronger. The Stoics understood that this life is fleeting. It is not guaranteed. And yet, instead of fearing death or wishing for a different existence, they chose to embrace life as it is. They chose to live according to nature, accepting all that it offers, both the joys and the pains. They understood that the only true control we have is over our own actions and responses. And so, they lived each day with purpose, with virtue, and with the wisdom to see beyond the surface of things. As you continue on your journey, remember this: living by nature is not a passive act. It is an act of choice. It is the choice to align your will with the greater order of the universe, to live in accordance with reason, and to respond to the world around you with wisdom, courage, and compassion. It is the choice to stop fighting against what is and start living in harmony with what is. In doing so, you will find peace, strength, and the true freedom that comes from living according to nature's law. The final vigil, nightfall reflections of a Stoic mind. As night falls and the world around you grows quiet, the challenges of the day begin to settle. The chaos, the noise, and the stress of daily life, those things that seemed overwhelming just hours ago, start to fade into the background. This is the moment of reflection, the time to step back and examine your responses, your thoughts, and your actions. The Stoic knows that this moment is vital. It is in the stillness of night that we reflect on the battles of the day and prepare ourselves for the next. At this time, many may feel the weight of the day pressing down on them. Feelings of regret, frustration, or anxiety might creep into their thoughts. But a Stoic does not give in to these feelings. Instead, they recognize them, acknowledge them, and let them pass. Just as we do not allow external circumstances to control our emotions during the day, we do not let the weight of negative feelings linger when the day is done. We take a moment to look inward, to clear the mental clutter, and to remind ourselves that these feelings do not define us. It is in these moments, just before sleep, that a Stoic's true practice unfolds. We ask ourselves, did we respond with wisdom today? Were our actions aligned with our values? Did we maintain our peace in the face of challenges? The Stoic does not shy away from these reflections. They meet them head-on, without judgment, because they know that growth is found in honesty with oneself. If mistakes were made, the Stoic learns from them. If emotions were allowed to dictate actions, the Stoic understands that tomorrow is a new opportunity to practice control. This process of reflection is not about self-criticism, but about growth. It is about looking at our responses, not the external events, and asking, how can we improve? How can we maintain peace tomorrow, when the storm once again brews around us? The Stoic knows that this is not an overnight process. It is a lifelong practice of cultivating self-discipline, patience, and emotional resilience. The greatest gift of the Stoic philosophy is this: it teaches us to meet life's challenges not as victims, but as masters of ourselves. It teaches us that the only thing we truly control in this world is how we respond to what happens to us. In every moment, there is a choice. We can react out of anger, fear, or frustration, or we can respond with wisdom, calm, and purpose. This choice, no matter how small it may seem, is what shapes the course of our lives. When we lie down to sleep at the end of the day, we should ask ourselves, have I acted in accordance with my true nature? Have I remained grounded, no matter the circumstances? The Stoic does not need to be perfect. They need only to be consistent. Each day is a chance to do better, to be better, and to approach life with an open heart and a calm mind. In this quiet moment of reflection, the Stoic also remembers the transient nature of everything. Life, with all its trials, is fleeting. The stress, the tension, the moments of chaos, they will pass. And so will the moments of peace. Everything is temporary, and in that understanding, the Stoic finds freedom. They do not hold on tightly to anything, not even the feelings of success or happiness. They allow life to flow as it will, knowing that they are always in control of how they respond. And as sleep finally comes, the Stoic drifts into it not with anxiety or fear, but with a sense of acceptance. Whatever happens tomorrow will happen. The Stoic does not dread it, nor do they cling to hopes for something better. They simply accept that tomorrow is another day, a day to continue the practice, to continue the journey of self-mastery. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, new opportunities, and new moments of growth. The Stoic will face them as they have faced everything before, with patience, calm, and a commitment to act in line with their highest principles. They know that the greatest strength lies not in the absence of difficulty, but in the way they face it, in their ability to remain calm, to not be swept away by emotions, and to live in accordance with nature and reason. So, as the night deepens and the world sleeps, the Stoic rests, knowing that they have done their best today. And when the morning light breaks through, they will rise again, ready to face the world with calm, strength, and unwavering purpose. This is the true power of Stoicism, the ability to remain at peace in the storm, to meet every challenge with clarity, and to find strength in the simplicity of controlling what is within our reach. The chaos outside may never cease, but the Stoic is not disturbed by it. For the storm may rage, but within, there is stillness. And in that stillness, we find our true strength.